Empirical data says different.
As a scientist, I rely on empirical evidence, and in this matter...
Recent research has shown that empirical evidence for globalization of corporate innovation is very limited.
Hey everyone, and welcome to TalkWord. This is where we dig in and unpack the stories behind the words we use every single day. Today, we are tackling a word that's, well, it's at the very heart of science, discovery, and even how you pick your favorite cup of coffee. Let's get into it. So let me start by asking you a question. How do you really know that something is true? Is it just because somebody told you so? Or because you read it in a book somewhere? Or is it because you've seen it or felt it or experienced it for yourself? That idea, that really powerful idea of knowing something through your own experience, that's what we're going to explore today.
All right, so that very concept of knowing through experience, it has a name. It's called empirical. So first things first, let's break down exactly what that word means. Okay, at its core, empirical means that something is based on, or, and this is key, can be verified by observation or experience. It's not about just an idea or pure logic. It all comes back to those two crucial words, observation and experience. It's about knowledge that we can actually test out in the real world.
To put it another way, empirical knowledge is basically what you learn through your senses. It's the information you get by seeing something with your own eyes, by touching it, tasting it, hearing it. It's knowledge that comes directly from the world around you, not from a textbook.
Now, to really get a handle on the word empirical, I think it helps to take a little trip back in time to where it all began. Honestly, understanding where a word comes from is a great little trick for making it stick in your brain. And its journey starts in a pretty cool place. Ancient Greece.
So the whole story starts way back in ancient Greece with the word empirikos, which pretty much just meant experienced. Then this idea got picked up by the Romans. They used their word empirikos to talk about a specific group of doctors, the ones who based their treatments on what actually worked in practice, on their real-world experience, not just on old theories. And from there, it slowly evolved into the English word we use today, and it's become this absolute cornerstone of modern science and philosophy.
One of the absolute best ways to understand what a concept is to take a good look at what it isn't. So, to make empirical even clearer, let's compare it with its opposite.
This chart really nails the difference, doesn't it? Empirical thinking is all about evidence. It's practical. It's the show me, don't just tell me approach. Think of a scientist looking through a microscope. Theoretical thinking, on the other hand, is based on ideas and abstract concepts. It's more like a philosopher just thinking things through. One is about proof, the other is about pure possibility.
Okay, I know that might still feel a little bit abstract, I totally get it, so let's bring it down to earth with a simple and pretty delicious analogy that I think everyone will understand: baking a cake.
This makes it so clear. The recipe for the cake? That's the theory. It tells you what should happen if you follow all the steps and mix the ingredients. But the empirical evidence? Well, that comes when you actually take a bite. Tasting the cake for yourself and confirming, wow, this is delicious. That is the only way to prove the theory was right. That taste test? That's purely empirical.
So as you can probably guess, this isn't just some dusty old word for philosophers or scientists. The truth is, we use empirical methods all the time, probably without even realizing it. So let's take a look at how this pops up in the real world.
The biggest and most famous example, of course, is this scientific method. The entire process of modern science, how we've made all these incredible discoveries, is completely built around gathering and testing empirical evidence. I mean, think about it, right? You start with a question. Then you form a hypothesis, which is really just your best guess, your theory. But then comes the most important part. You have to test it. That experiment and the data you analyze after, that is pure empirical work. You are observing, you're measuring, you're collecting hard evidence to see if your idea actually holds up.
But we do this in our everyday lives too. A little kid learns a stove is hot through the direct and, painful, empirical evidence of touch. You figure out your favorite kind of coffee by actually tasting a bunch of different kinds, not by reading reviews online, but through your own personal experience. Even a baby learning to walk is using an empirical method. Try something, fall down, observe what happened, adjust, and try again. It's learning by doing.
So, after all that, what's the one thing you really should remember about the word empirical? Why does this word even matter, both for your vocabulary and for how you look at the world?
If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Empirical knowledge is knowledge that you have earned yourself. It isn't borrowed from someone else. It isn't just assumed to be true. It's knowledge you've built from your own direct experience with the world. And that makes it powerful,
personal, and something you can truly count on.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to take away with you. What is one thing you believe, not because someone told you to, but based on purely empirical evidence that you gathered all by yourself? Give it some thought. It's a really great way to make this word your own.
If this has sparked your curiosity and you're thinking, hey, I want to understand more English words on this deeper level, well, your learning journey definitely does not have to stop here.
If you enjoyed this, you should absolutely check out our companion app, TalkWord. You can get these same kinds of deep dive explanations for pretty much any English word you're curious about. It's an amazing tool for building your vocabulary, day by day. Just search for TalkWord in your app store. Thanks for joining me, and happy learning.